Good afternoon and welcome or welcome back. Oh boy, today I really need to take a deep breath. It's been a crazy, crazy day here in the Mayer household. Okay, let's see if anybody hops on. I think everything is working. Goodness sakes, I look at my hair. It's getting cut tomorrow. It's a little bit frizzy right now. So you'll be seeing my hands pretty soon. So hello, Holly, welcome. Okay, I really need to take a deep breath, and Rose is here. Welcome. And keep saying and. I'm sorry. Oh my goodness sakes. Okay, that's going to go away in a minute. 8 seconds. If you want to place an order online, that's where you can find me at patmayer.stampinup.net. And there it went away. All right. Oh my goodness, what has gone on in the last week? I think we had snow, and then it got warm, and I always have to talk about the weather. And now it's warm but windy, so that means it's cold. So that's enough about that. And we've got Thanksgiving a week from Thursday. Oh, wow. Okay, what am I doing today? Need to get moving here. And Shirley's here too. Welcome. Okay, I am working today with the new Friendly Foliage. This came out on, let's get you down to my desktop so you know what I'm talking about. On November 4th, I believe. And here we are on the 17th, so it's about 2 weeks in. Wonderful sentiments here, and a beautiful stamp, and some things to make backgrounds. And I'm going to be using this today. Let's see, these are the other things that go with it. Sending, what do we have here? Sending love. You're on my mind and in my heart. Thinking of you. Get well soon. Here for you always, and wishing you all the best. Great sentiments, great fonts. And as you may know, we are now in photopolymer only, and regardless of the size of the stamp set, they will come in these carriers. And these are a little more than 5.5, maybe like 5 3/4 if you want to give it a little bit of a nudge. And see, I need something bigger for this. Like 9, like 5 3/4 by 9 will be these, and all stamps and dies will come like this. And if you want to do magnet sheets, you could probably put them in the same carrier and save the other one for something else, or to take some of your other stamp sets and put them in one of these. So it's going to change the way you store things and able to locate them. So right now I'm kind of in kind of shuffling around to see exactly how I want that to happen. But so far I'm liking what that offers. So I have several cards I've made with this. I am going to do die cutting with this, and this alone is pretty cool, let me tell you. Because this goes with this stamp set, or excuse me, stamp right here. Let me get it under a color so you can see it. Okay, or like that if that's better. And then this cuts it out, and then this goes in the middle to give it a total cutout. I've just been playing around with it for a little bit today. I didn't get a chance to do much with it yesterday, so I think the possibilities are, I wouldn't say endless, but definitely more possibilities than you might think when you first take a look at these stamps and dies, because this fits in here. And then of course we have these others. I've actually not played around with those so much, but just this and this. So we'll get to that in a minute, but I'm going to start out with a very simple, basic card. I'm also going to pull in today this lasting linen. I think this is going to be a background stamp for that will be timeless, that could be used for so many different things. It's just really nice. It looks like linen, just like it says. So let's see what we start here. I didn't bring down a glass of water. This is the card that I'm going to make. It is super, super simple. We've got a basic white card base. Going to be using some old olive and crumb cake. So this is a piece that measures 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then this is a piece that is 3 3/4 by 5. Let's see, where's my other little, yeah, let's go. And I'm pulling in a color that I don't use very often, and this is soft seafoam, to give this a little bit of a background with a blending brush. So let's put that aside so I don't get ink on it. And let's see, this is a well-used grid sheet. Okay, there we go. So there we've got our grid sheet, and I'm going to just kind of swirl around in here. I think this is to the point where it probably needs some re-inking because it's getting light in the middle, as you can see. But I'm still going to tap off, and this is so light it's not getting a lot out of there. But I'm going to start in the middle. Let's see, there's a little mark there. Let's turn it over. Start in the middle and just kind of go out a little bit so it'll still stay light in here. Let me zoom in, I think, if I can zoom. And get up here into the camera. Let's get some ink over here. So I hope you all had a good rest of last week. Okay, so that just gives a little bit of a highlight to this. As I said, this is a super simple. If you are new to stamping and you're listening or watching this, this would be a great way to start. It's just basically stamps, ink, and paper. And then I'm going to add a little bit of ribbon to it, or a twine. So that's all for the soft seafoam. Then I'm going to bring in old olive. And I think I cleaned that off. Yeah, I did, I think. But let's get some other ink off of there. And I'm going to do this with the old olive because it's a little bit big. I want to take the stamp pad to the stamp. And put that right over there. Hope I'm straight. That looks good. Now, that looks great, but let's kick it up a little bit. So I'm going to clean it again. And get that old olive off of there. So now it's clean. And maybe this isn't something you've done in a while. I know I was just playing around with it and I thought that needs something else. So now I'm going to bring in my crumb cake. Open it, push it back, and add crumb cake to this. And create a shadow behind the old olive. And it just kicks it up. Let me show you that sample again. If you can see that little shadow behind there. It gives it dimension, and it almost makes that old olive pop off the page. And this is a light enough color that I don't need to stamp it off. And this is one that is, now that we have photopolymer, this is a technique that is so easy to do because you can see exactly where you're going. Make sure I stay in the camera range here and lean over. See, don't know if you can see my head. And I'm just going to hover a little bit to the right so that I know that it's not going right on the original image. Okay, and actually, I'm going to leave that on there a second. Actually, I started, see, it doesn't even pop off, to use my Stampin' Pierce mat with my photopolymer, and it does work well on this glass mat or flat surface, but because we don't have any cushion on this, the Pierce mat does give a really good image. Okay, that's a little bit further over than I thought it would go with the stems down there. This one actually looks better. So if that's something that you wouldn't like, you could just turn it over and start over. But this was actually better because I'm trying to hover and also make sure that you can see what I'm doing too. Whereas if it was closer to me, I probably could have gotten a little bit better. But that's okay. It's going to work okay. It's not always about perfection. And then let's grab, you can use any sentiment that you like, but I'm going to use Thinking of You. Let's grab a block. And go with the Thinking of You here. Okay, close to the bottom right. There we go. And then we have some early espresso and old olive linen thread pack. This doesn't go with this bundle or anything, but it goes with another suite. And I'm going to use the old olive. And start underneath there, wrap it around twice. So it actually uses about 26 inches of twine, I think. And see if I can keep it straight. so it doesn't slip. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and cut that off here. Okay, I don't want that to slip. So what I'm going to do is pop that over on the back and add a dimensional, because I'm going to be popping this up on dimensionals on the card. So let's get one there. I'm not going to take the backing off yet. I just want to secure that ribbon or twine, so it will make it a little bit easier to work with here on the front. And then I'm all fingers on getting that tied. My left side is probably a little bit too short, but let me tuck that under there. Could always tie a knot first, but we shall see. Well, okay, there's the knot. Oh, goodness sakes. There we go. There we go. So there is that. It's simple, and again, that is a little bit off here. Kind of makes you look like you're dizzy, but I think it's going to be okay. So where did my card base go? Whoops. Okay, I know it's here. There we go. So it's just a basic white on white. Let's pop it up. Put another couple in the middle. I don't like when there you can see what I'm doing. My centers of the cards, I don't want them to kind of collapse if somebody presses down on it. So it looks like a lot of dimensionals, but we can use a lot. Now I can take that one off of where the twine was. Okay, they're all shiny, so I got them all. And pop that down there. So that's about as basic as it could get. How much is it? Good question, Rose. I can check that out and let you know later what the bundle was. I just got it, so I'm not sure, but it's so nice. I will text that to you later if that's okay. So basic stamps, ink, paper, a little bit of the accessory with this, and on this one I'm not even going to add any accessory to it or any bling. This could be a good masculine card. So again, here was the original, and this one was you're in my, or on my mind and in my heart, and here's thinking of you. Okay, what is next? Okay, and then I do have some samples to show you. Okay, I'm going to zoom out a little bit because I'm losing it down here. Okay, let me see. I lost. Thank you, Jamie. $38.50 for the bundle in the United States. Hello, Jamie. Thank you. If you're new to my channel, I appreciate having you provide that. I knew that it was a reasonably priced one for the bundles. I was going to say it was around in the $40 range, so that's pretty good. All right, now I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants with the way my brain was going. Hold on one second here. Okay, on this one, I have crushed curry, and that's the 5.5 by 8.5 and scored. And this is a piece of early espresso that is 4 by 5.25. This is a piece of very vanilla that is 3 3/4 by 5. And on this one, I'm going to use the lasting linen. And with it being a large background stamp, I'm going to add my color to this. And we'll go ahead and use the crushed curry. I had to pull out my old style stamp pad because my newer style crushed curry just didn't look right. I think I need to get a new one. So this one looked good and it still had plenty of ink on it. So again, it's a larger stamp. Add the ink to the stamp. And lay that down. Oh, there's a little gnat down here. Wonder where he came from. Let's pull this up here. Okay, so it's a little, you know, just like linen would look, I guess. So that could be me. It could be, I think it's me and not the stamp, but that's okay. Let's put that out of the way over there. Because part of that will get covered up anyway. But you can see how that texture looks so pretty. So now I have a piece of very vanilla that is 2.5 by 4.25. And I'm going to stamp this on here. Let's see. I think, let me look at something here. Pulling out my color coach. So we've got crushed curry here on the base, and I've got early espresso, but early espresso is one of those neutrals that goes with everything. But right next to it is pecan pie. Let me go grab the pecan pie. I haven't used that in a while, and I didn't have it over here. And so I'm going to use that instead of Cajun Craze, which is over here, a little bit further away into the red oranges. And I'm into the yellow orange. Let me grab pecan pie. Okay, this is a color I haven't used in a while, so I didn't have it over here in my little repertoire. And it's a softer color. It's a little bit darker, obviously, than crumb cake or even our basic beige. But it's got a, I don't know, pecans. Who doesn't like pecans? Okay, so I've got my Stampin' piercing that here. I'm going to turn this sideways because I think it's a little bit easier. And I want to put that in the center. Okay, so it's not quite as dark as the early espresso. So that's what we had on the first card. So now we're going to do some cutting here. Okay, so this is truly stamping on the fly with what I was originally going to do. So this goes over this, and that will give you a cutout of just that around it. Now, you can also put this in too, but I'm going to wait and show you. You could do them both at the same time, but I just want to show you the options of doing them separately if you want to do that. Okay, so I'm going to go right behind me and use my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. It's a little bit easier than pulling out the mini. I can actually control it a little bit better on my bigger machine. Okay, you're going to hear that cranking here. So now this is what you get with this. Okay, you could use that all by itself. You could also, when you think about the other options, you could run this through in a different color and then inlay this. So it can be inlaid and popped up. You can pop that up if you like. But I'm now going to run this through with this, and you'll see the magic that happens with that too. Whoever did the design on this is pretty brilliant, I will have to say. So that's going in there. So now you can see what all is going to get cut out and what is going to be left over. Okay, so now we have this, and when I pull that off, all of these little background pieces pop out. Well, yes they do. I may have to put that back on there again. Okay, no, it's going to come out. There we go. Just a little bit stuck in there. So now we had this basic piece. We can pop this back in here and add a color behind it. Let's put something there that would give you an idea of what that would look like. This can be popped back in here and go back on our card with the linen. There are just so many options, and that's why it's a fun one to play with, I will tell you. So if I put that on there and put it on our lasting linen, I keep wanting to say lovely linen, but it's not, it's lasting linen. So what I'm going to do with this is your mind can be racing on how you can lay things down, dimension or inlay. So this is going on with liquid glue. Then I do have some other samples to show you in a minute when I'm finished here. Okay, so I'm going to lay that down there. And this one is not going to have a sentiment on the front. You don't have to have a sentiment on the front of all your cards. You can just make them plain and then write on the inside. And then I'm going to pop this up with mini dimensionals. There's lots of places here to add little minis. And this looks gorgeous when it's embossed too. So I do have a sample showing you the embossing, as in heat embossing. Let's see. I'm not going to worry about the edges here. Putting these strategically on these little stems is sufficient. So now that gets popped up. And that gives it a little bit more dimension. It's still a plain and simple card, but when you add the die cutting to it, it increases its prettiness. Okay, so there's that. This is then going to go on the early espresso, which also looks good with the pecan pie. Glad I went over and pulled that out. That's kind of like the soft seafoam. It's not a color that I typically go to when I'm doing colors like this, like fall colors, because I've always loved early espresso. And there we have our crushed curry, which is also not a color I use a whole lot. So I've been trying to pull out and use things that are not necessarily, let's go here, colors that I typically use a lot, just to give you some options, because we have so many gorgeous colors. Okay, it looks a little bit blah, a little bit plain, but that helps it in the back. Popping this up makes it easy. So I was trying to get some easy cards here today. So we've got this one, and wherever I put the other one that I made. Make sure I don't lose these dies. I surround myself with all this stuff. Okay, so we've got this one and the original. This one did not have an original because I was making it as I went. But let me show you this, just this little piece here that I came up with that basic background cut out. And then this was run through an embossing folder, one of the new embossing folders, and then layered that on there with dimensionals. So that could be something like that on there. So just think outside the box. I ran this through also on some gold foil sheets. So there's another option. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do with that just yet, but there it is. These are the other samples that I was playing around with. This one I like a lot. And I stamped, embossed with Versamark on designer series paper. And then cut that out with that centerpiece. Okay, so it got cut out with this. The whole thing didn't cut out. This was the part that got cut out for that. Very, very versatile. So I really like this. I will probably add a sentiment to the front of this and emboss it when I decide what I'm going to do with it. Okay, here's another one where I just stamped and embossed in white on some of our Northern Lights paper. I guess I put it away, whatever the name was, I forgot. I cut it out and then put a piece of the designer paper that was the other side on the back of that. Okay, so we got that. This one doesn't use any die cutting, and it looks like a wallpaper with the one, which one is it here? With this one. And then I used the Thinking of You, put some ribbon there, and popped it up. And then here's one more with just a random background in crushed curry and Cajun Craze, stamped and embossed, and just cut out the outline and not the inside in there, and then added some bling to it and some of that early espresso twine. Again, no sentiment on the front, but one could be added easily. So that's it for today, and I hope you like this set. You might want to order it and play around with it. It's a lot of fun, and let me know what you come up with. So next week, oh my goodness, we'll be in the last week of November. Do you believe it? And getting ready for Thanksgiving. So take care. Have a great rest of the week. Stay warm wherever you are, or if you're someplace where it's hot, stay cool. So, back to my face for a minute here. And again, take care. And thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And I will